are we at?
What?
Are you ready for a good time?
Is that what he says? Who are we?
I don't know.
I thought it was we all need it.
I'm sure.
All need it. We all need it. We all need it. A good time. Are you ready for a good time? Christ.
Yeah, we all need it. Who? Who all need it? You. Who all need it?
You all need it. You all
No, it's who.
need
No,
it.
who all need it? Who all need it? Who all need it? You who all need it? Who all need? This is a great start. You should turn it on.
We're recording right now.
Yeah, I know.
This could be the intro. This could be the cold open. Are you ready?
Support WrestleTalk!
Give us a subscribe.
WWE are teasing a new character on SmackDown. I am Chopper Pete Quinnell. This is Randy Andy Datson. Welcome to the WrestleTalk podcast review of SmackDown. If you are watching the video version, which I assume you are because this is the only intro that will be on the video version, please give us a like and a subscribe and help us out on the channel. Have yourself a thumbs up party because it really helps out the channel and it helps out the video and it gets it out to more people, which is a thing that we all want, really, isn't it? So, first things first, WrestleTalkLive.com, that's the thing that's happening. We're hosting our own wrestling show. How mental is that? We're not starting our own promotion, just want to get that one out there, but we're going to be showcasing some of the best UK wrestling around. There's like millions of promotions
And some
that we're
Japanese
promoting.
people, from what I saw.
Well, yeah, but it's still part of the UK wrestling scene,
Yes.
you know. It's Shota Umino, who was John Moxley's tag partner, or like associate during the G1. He's going to be wrestling there. Lots of other really, really cool names. WrestleTalkLive.com, go get your tickets. You can come. It's on March 16th. Come meet all of us. We're going to be doing a podcast as well.
You can meet me.
And also everyone else that's on the WrestleTalk team. Anyway, let's talk about SmackDown.
Yes.
Because this SmackDown was, I thought, an okay episode.
Yes.
And there was a couple of things that were quite interesting on the show. But the thing I found the most interesting was these little teasers. Because WWE sometimes are quite good at doing just a tiny little hint of what's to come. They started doing it with, when The Fiend was rising to prominence, they did all the Firefly Funhouse stuff, and then they just had the puppets start showing up,
Popping up around,
in like backstage segments and things. They don't reference them, they're just there for people to spot. They've done it with things like on NXT, they had, for Velveteen Dream's return, they had the 3 numbers that would just flash up randomly throughout episodes in the weeks leading up to his return. Things like that, they're quite good at. I think this is another case of that, because in 2 different segments on SmackDown tonight, at random points, it would just, the feed, the screen would just start glitching. Yeah. And it would just go all
about
kind of
half a
crazy.
second.
Yeah,
It
for
would
like
go
half a second, it would just go, and then it would cut off again. It looked very intentional, but also not. It looked like it was intentionally unintentional, if that makes sense.
I mean, it was definitely intentional.
It was definitely intentional.
Because it happened twice in exactly the same way.
Exactly, yes.
And it was at such unprominent times during the show that it was kind of, this is quite clearly something.
So, the first one happened during the Bayley and Carmella match.
Yes.
And then the second one happened when Elias was making his way down to the ring later on in the show.
He did.
And these glitches just came up and then just left again. So, in my humble opinion, my expert opinion that is, I think that they're going to be teasing, this is a tease for a new character.
Yes.
My first pick as to who it could be, I'm thinking it's going to be Killer Cross.
You think Killer Cross is going straight to the main roster?
I think straight to the main roster, because there was a lot of reports coming out that, there's a lot of people vying for his services. WWE, I would assume, have paid in the big bucks, and there was a report that they wanted to push him, to the moon straight away. A lot of people assumed that would be on NXT. He'd be going for like the NXT Championship or something like that, shortly after his debut. I think he's actually straight to the main roster, and he's going to be getting mixed up on SmackDown, it looks like.
No reason why not, because the NXT roster is so saturated right now.
Some may call it stacked.
That wasn't a pun. I thought you were, I was really expecting something there. I know that's your thing.
It's my thing. Did I ever say it was a pun?
Well, no, but you stopped and looked at the camera. That's what I do when I say a bad thing.
Yeah, I know, but that's not your thing.
Yes, it is.
You didn't create looking at a camera.
I invented that. I invented sitcoms.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's so many people now on the NXT roster that I feel like he could quite easily jump just straight to SmackDown, especially because SmackDown needs new people.
Needs someone
and
to
I don't know
freshen
what it
it
is,
up.
but something about a glitch just makes you think, oh, he's a heel. Like,
yeah.
you're making my viewing experience worse. So you're definitely a heel.
Well, it's almost like they had the NXT character. I believe it was Solomon Crow, who was a hacker who used to come in with like a laptop and then the lights would go out after he tapped on that. That was like his gimmick. So I don't know whether they're going to do some sort of variation on that and kind of have Killer Cross be some sort of like hackery type thing who kind of causes glitches on the system and stuff like that.
I think a lot of people might look at it and go, "Oh, this is just another Fiend thing." I don't think it's another Fiend thing.
No, it didn't look like it.
Because it's not violins, it's not lights going off. It's more of a kind of, I don't know, just a little technical issue. Maybe Baron Corbin's back in the van from last
truck,
week, just poking buttons. Stop it, Baron!
This one.
But my theory is that it's Lars Sullivan, because I think it's going to be...
You can't even say it with a straight face.
I think it's going to be Glitch Bennett, which, if you know what that joke is, then you're very dirty and you shouldn't be allowed to watch this. It's going to be Glitch Bennett, because he is...
But seriously, who's your pick?
I don't know, because it's such a kind of little thing that it's not going, oh well, I know that's that guy's gimmick.
That's his thing, yeah.
Either it's a new character, so if it's a new character, I do agree, probably Killer Cross, but it could just be someone else just like kind of inventing a character.
Yeah.
Who I don't know, but the thing is, I don't know who's not really been on Jinder Mahal.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible.
Ali.
Yeah.
Mustafa Ali.
The glitches themselves looked very kind of, when NXT do their takeovers, when they have the kind of glitchy effects on them, when they bring up replays and things like that. It looked kind of like that.
It's an NXT invasion.
I don't think it's an NXT invasion, though. So yeah, I think my top pick would have to be Killer Cross. I don't think it's going to be an NXT call-up.
No.
And I don't think it really fits Timothy Thatcher. I think if anything, he's going to be doing stuff with Imperium or something on NXT. I don't think he's going to fit being that kind of main roster hacker type guy.
Yeah.
So I think Killer Cross has to be my top pick. I really can't think of many other people it would be.
No.
Unless it is a complete gimmick change of someone we've all forgotten about, like, I don't know, EC3 or something like that.
Tamina.
I don't think it's Tamina.
I'd love it. It's Tamina. Anyway.
But yeah, I'm quite looking forward to it. But I don't think they're actually going to pay this off until after WrestleMania. I think this is going to be a night after Mania kind of debut. It's going to escalate, I think.
There'll be there'll be 3 glitches next week, 4 glitches.
Yeah. And then there'll be maybe a promo where it'll be glitchy and then like a voiceover will come in and say something and we go, ooh, that is an actual character. And then it kind of builds and then SmackDown after WrestleMania debut happens. But yeah, let us know in the comments who you think this new character might be and what you thought of SmackDown as well. We don't have any super chats because we're not live right now. I know, crazy.
But this is a super chat.
Hey, that was actually a good pun. Well done, Datson, well done. So let's get into the actual review of the whole show. First thing that I spotted on this show says it coming from Vancouver, Canada. And then I saw a support WrestleTalk sign.
Nice. I saw it too. There was more than one.
Great, I know. Well. It was great. Vancouver, big thumbs up.
Thanks, fans. And just in general, the crowd was super hot.
It was
for the whole show, apart from Apollo Crews.
Which is understandable. Which is understandable.
Yeah.
But they were hot pretty much the whole night, and it really helped this show, I think. The show opened up with a moment of bliss with Cross and...
First of the year.
Yeah, Cross and Bliss. And as we've seen moment of bliss segments that are god-awful. We've seen them that are dreadful. This wasn't one of them, I didn't think. I thought this was fine.
It wasn't great, though.
It wasn't great.
Because
I'm not saying that.
Alexa Bliss comes on and goes, hi, whatever, and then Nikki goes, oh, Alexa, it's Valentine's Day today, so who's your celebrity crush? And Alexa's kind of, oh, well, you know, should I say it? Should I say it? The crowds go mental because they want to know who Alexa Bliss fancies.
Yeah, we want to know who you fancy!
Yeah, and then Nikki goes, oh, I'm going to have a guess. Is that Brad Pitt? And then Michael Coles goes, who? Because the whole joke is that no one can understand Nikki Cross because she's Scottish.
We can.
Did you hear that Drew had to tone down his accent because
that sounds totally reasonable.
Vince, the more Scottish he was, the more likely he was to not be pushed.
Yeah, that's very Vince.
So he's having to kind of make him sound a bit more English.
Yep.
It was just a bit weird, this segment. And then they sort of go, right, okay, that's done. Here's Carmella!
It's Carmella now!
I have a theory about Carmella. I'll let you talk in a second.
Okay.
When she's being serious, she wears her kind of normal gear with the kind of sports bra top and the kind of the sports pants, whatever. But when she's not being serious...
Technical terminology here
sports pants.
On the WrestleTalk podcast.
But when she's being less serious, she wears her leotard thingy with the very high bottom, like the really chafing thing, because then she's more slightly diva-y, I think. Just that kind of... She just loses more. But I feel like when she wears the kind of more serious-looking outfit, she actually wrestles better. I don't know if that's just me, but I feel like that's just something I've noticed.
You. Yeah.
Wrestle pants.
Wrestle pants.
What did you think?
Sports pants. Carmella came out and she says that Meta is money and she's going to remind everyone that she's going to become the next SmackDown Women's Champion. And then they start talking about her friendship with Bayley. And like, this entire segment, this isn't my cup of tea. Them talking about friendships and celebrity crushes and things like that. But I can guarantee that it definitely appeals to a certain section of fans.
Oh, yeah.
And what worked in their favour is they felt very natural. They felt like they were just kind of chatting about stuff. Oh, you guys used to be friends. Look at some pictures of you guys when you used to be friends. Look at that. And then she's like, well, what happened? And then Carmella was like, well, Sasha Banks happened.
Yeah.
And the crowd went, ooh. And then she was saying, this brought out Bayley, who was saying... And Bayley, I think it took her a little bit to get into her promo, because Bayley, I don't think, is quite as good a promo as the other three that are there, I want to say. But I think, again, she kind of came into her own a little bit, and when she started saying that, you know, she was saying that she beat Bliss and Cross in a handicap match last year, and she's the most dominant champion and all that stuff. I started to believe what she was saying, and most of the time I think in Bayley promos, she can come across like a little bit disingenuous. This one I felt she actually kind of found her footing and kind of put across her point pretty well. Yeah. So I thought overall this was a fine segment. There was nothing wrong with it in particular. Yeah.
My only issue with this is that I just don't like seeing Nikki Cross as this lovable baby-facing... Because she is so much better as the kind of crazy...
I know she is, but...
sanity lady.
I know. But I mean, there's a lot of things that we wish we could have with gimmicks and stuff that we don't choose. So I don't outwardly hate her character now. But
Carmella kind of goes, blah, blah, blah. I want to have this match.
I want to have this match right now instead of whenever.
Instead of whenever it was scheduled to be, which was now.
Which was not Super Showdown.
Yes. But we are... getting a match at Super Showdown in the ladies, which we'll discuss after this match.
We will.
But yeah, no, it's a pretty decent match.
Yeah,
and it was nice to see them both, the women's division on SmackDown, get more than 5 minutes.
Oh, God, it went through an ad break.
Yeah.
It was good.
I would think probably 10 minutes, maybe.
Yeah. It's somewhere between 10 and 15, for sure.
Yeah.
And, it went through an ad break, like I said. The crowd were really into it. Apparently, I saw a thing on Squared Circle that I wasn't aware of before. Apparently, Canada just hates Bayley.
Do they?
Canada just boos Bayley. It's just a thing that happens.
Is that because it's Bizarro World, where when she was the massive babyface, when she turned up there, they would go, boo?
I don't know the exact reason why they started booing her. But there was a thing that happened.
Okay.
Canada started booing Bayley, and now that's just a thing. Whenever she's in Canada, she will get booed. But it really worked for this one because she was a heel. So they were really cheering Carmella, they were really booing Bayley, and it led to this really nice dynamic because the crowd were really into this match. And there was a really nice wrestling feel to this match.
Yeah.
There was some really nice sequences, lots of like close roll-ups.
Yeah.
There was some nice what's the word I'm looking for? Creative spots. There was like a top rope Hurricane Rana. Yeah. Carmella kicked out of the Bayley to belly.
Which doesn't happen very often.
Nope.
And that's a rubbish move.
Yep. She locked in the code of silence.
She did a suicide dive through the
middle of the bottom rope, which was a great spot. It just led into this really kind of tense, dramatic crescendo, which ended when Bayley won with an illegal pin, which was, classic heel tactics.
Yeah.
The crowd went boo a lot, and it was great.
And call me old-fashioned, but I like a wrestling match with wrestling moves, especially when, unfortunately, in a lot of these women's matches on SmackDown specifically, you just get a lot of head drag downs and a lot of very basic wrestling. But when you're actually allowed to have a match, you can do moves.
Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, it was nice to see that the kind of Carmella showing that she can actually wrestle.
Yeah.
Which
Still
is
hate
nice.
the Mello round though. Just stop
Yes,
having that as a move,
Because
please.
Kelly made it horrible, and you're not making it any better.
Not making it any better.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, as soon as Bayley gets the pin, it cuts to the crowd, and there's support WrestleTalk sign number 2.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, go Vancouver. And then afterwards, Bayley attacks Carmella after the bell for reasons. Naomi comes out to save her, and her and Carmella beat up Bayley, and they stand tall afterwards, and they kind of glance at each other like, yeah, Bayley's down there, and we're in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're cool, etc. And then later on, we'll go through all the women's segments now, because then later on, Bayley had a promo backstage.
Where was it?
Saying...
Was it Brack's stage?
That's awful. That's genuinely one of the worst ones
It was
you've
with
made.
Kayla Braxton.
That's genuinely one of the worst puns you've made. Just saying. Bayley's backstage with Kayla Braxton, saying that the next time she's going to defend her title, it's going to be at Super Showdown in Saudi Arabia.
Here's my theory. They were going for this. They advertised it.
Yep.
Then there was a bit of they weren't quite sure it was going to happen. Had the match on SmackDown. After it was announced the match was going to be on SmackDown, the Saudi government went, okay, fine, you can have your match in Saudi Arabia. They went, right, we've already advertised this for SmackDown, so we're going to have that match. Have Naomi come out afterwards, and then they're going to have they're going to go. Are they going one-on-one? They are going one-on-one for the number one contender.
Yes.
For
Super Showdown.
And I still think Carmella's going to win.
Do you think so?
Because for reasons that are obvious, I don't think the Saudi government want Naomi wrestling.
I don't know about that. I would be surprised if they have... I would think that there is no reason to have another number one contenders match when you could just have Carmella have another match. Because she won with an illegal pin, you have a reason to just say, well, Carmella gets a rematch because you didn't win fair and square, we'll have that at Super Showdown. But they've specifically done another number one contenders match between Carmella and Naomi. I think Naomi's going to pick up the win.
I mean, the thing is, Naomi... But I want to see Naomi and Bayley at Elimination Chamber because I don't want the match to be marred by a Saudi crowd who doesn't want to see what they're seeing.
Well, I mean, the first match they had between Natalya and Lacey Evans, there was the uncomfortable bit where someone threw a bottle of water at Natalya.
Yeah.
Aside from that, I'd say it was quite well received, generally. So I don't know how it's going to go down necessarily. Yeah. But I wouldn't write it off immediately. Plus, the more of these things that happen, the more hopefully that they will kind of get used to that kind of thing happening, and there'll be less,
Yes.
What's the word I'm looking for? Unrest.
Yes.
About it. But then, Bayley cut this promo saying she'll compete at Super Showdown. Carmella had a promo later on saying she's going to become the next SmackDown Women's Champion. Naomi said basically the same thing. Yeah. She's going to become next SmackDown Women's Champion, feel the glow and all that stuff. And it got confirmed next week, Naomi versus Carmella, number one contenders match. Winner faces Bayley at Super Showdown.
Kayla Braxton was very busy.
She was very
running
busy,
around backstage.
Still not a thing that's catching on.
Now that Kathy Kelly's going, I mean, she's not been on the main roster, but Kathy Kelly...
I cannot believe Kathy Kelly's going.
...is leaving WWE, and my heart has fallen out of my trousers.
I know, yeah. Trousers. Then we got, speaking of the women's division, that's continuing on, got a cool video package of Lacey Evans. That was from the Royal Rumble, and it was just her backstage being very kind of candid, talking to the camera, and just saying that she carries letters from fans. She actually puts them in her boots when she wrestles to remind her of why she's doing what she's doing. Very kind of cool babyface stuff. She spoke about one letter in particular at the Rumble. There was a letter from a fan who'd lost someone due to addiction, I think.
Due to addiction, yeah.
Yeah. And she just was, on the verge of tears, just being like, this is why I do what I do. I want to be a positive role model for these people. It felt very genuine, and it felt quite touching. It was a very solid video package. It's a good babyface stuff.
Yeah, I can see her being back in the title picture very soon because she's been off for a couple of weeks, but not for long.
I think Luke might be right. I think we might be heading for a Lacey Bayley rematch at Mania, and we have the Naomi Carmella Bayley stuff blow off at Super Showdown and at Elimination Chamber, and then that'll be that whole feud, and then we have Lacey Bayley rematch at Mania. It's possible.
Presumably, there's going to be a women's Elimination Chamber.
Might be on the Raw side.
So
I don't
you'd
know.
have Becky. There's not a lot of people.
It might not be Becky in it. It might be people vying to face Becky. Shayna
That's
being
true.
one of them, and Shayna wins it.
Shayna could be in it quite, yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But they could very well do a SmackDown one, honestly. Do the same thing. Have the Naomi at Super Showdown. Elimination Chamber is people vying to see who can face Bayley, and Lacey Evans wins it.
Dana Brooke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool. Otis is backstage next.
Looking so handsome. He's combed his
great.
hair and he's done his beard.
Yeah.
And he's very nervous.
And he gets a text message, and he just says, "That would be great. See you soon, Mandy." Winky face emoji, heart eyes emoji. And one of the things about Otis that never fails to make me laugh is just whenever Tucker comes in, just like kind of places a hand on his shoulder, he just turns around and goes, "Ducky!" It's just the way he does it. I just crack up every single time. He goes on and say, "Mandy's running a little bit late, but that's okay." And he says, "Is it crazy to think that Mandy might like me?"
Oh, it's not crazy, Otis. You're a handsome, handsome man.
He's a big boy. I like him. And then Tucker gives him, words of advice. "You're gonna do great, champ." All that stuff. And we'll get to the blow off for that later on. Sheamus versus Shorty G and Apollo Crews in a 2-on-1 handicap match with
Sheamus comes out. Crowd's hot. Apollo Crews comes out. Crowd is almost as if they all close their eyes. Then Shorty G comes out, and because of Apollo Crews, no one cares.
Yeah.
Sheamus wins in 3 minutes.
Yep.
Thanks for coming, guys.
They got in some decent offense,
but it was kind of like hitting a tree, trying to cut a tree down with a spoon.
Yeah.
It was sort of for ages, and then it was just never going to happen. And Sheamus is clearly getting pushed, probably to face Braun Strowman or something like that.
Maybe, yeah. I said it in my edited review as well. I'm more into Sheamus beating 2 people than I am 1, but I'm also way more into the idea of Sheamus actually having a feud.
I could also see Sheamus facing The Fiend at Elimination Chamber.
Really? Sheamus Fiend?
They need a feud in between.
But it would be a babyface that would face him. Fiend's a heel, in their eyes.
Nah.
Yeah.
I can still see it. I'm calling you out.
No one's going to face The Fiend at Elimination Chamber because we've got the men's Elimination Chamber match to determine who's going to face The Fiend at WrestleMania. So I don't think they're going to do a Fiend match. It's already going to be set in stone that they will be facing The Fiend.
What if Goldberg's the champion?
I hate you. It's not going to happen. Please don't make it happen.
He might be. Although
I will be so mad if Goldberg beats The Fiend.
There was one spot in this match that was great. There was a double axe handle off the top rope.
You hate double axe.
It's the stupidest move in wrestling, everyone.
It's not the stupidest move in wrestling.
Because, first of all, it's doing this.
Yeah.
Doing it off the top rope doesn't make it any more impressive. You're still just doing that to someone.
Yeah, but you have all the momentum of you coming down. Are you saying that if you came down from height going onto something on the ground, that would have more momentum on it?
It just looks so silly.
No, but it's not the dumbest move in wrestling. There is actual science behind it compared to some other moves that actually have none.
There's tense through kiss.
No.
Oh, but it was Valentine's Day yesterday, and speaking of which, they cut to the restaurant where Mandy Rose was waiting, and you notice that every woman in that room was wearing a red dress.
Yep.
And all the men were wearing black suit.
Of course. Valentine's Day.
All women all wear red dresses.
Especially on Valentine's Day.
Exactly. Yeah. It's the only colour you can wear.
Speaking of red dresses, we come on next to Hulk Hogan, who's famous for his red and yellow. It's a bad segue. Hulk Hogan.
That sucks.
The immortal Hulk Hogan is there, live, via satellite again.
Yeah.
Again they've promoted Hulk
Hogan. From his house. More like Hulk Hokey, because that was not his house.
Yeah, it was.
It was a shop. It was quite clearly a shop. There were
some people had just put up NWO T-shirt, an NWO hoodie.
And
here's the belt.
But not just one. There were like 3 in a row, which made it look like that's just a hook in a shop where you can pick a. No, that's large. I'm a medium. Yeah. It looked rubbish. It looked even less like a house than Goldberg's one last week.
I know. Yeah. So Hulk Hogan comes on and he chats some gubbins about him going in the Hall of Fame with the NWO.
It's the same issue with the Goldberg thing. When they're in the ring, that's when they're good at promos. When they're sitting at home going, like there's a script off camera going, and Goldberg will beat the Fiend. Fiend, you don't know what's coming. Goldberg is really cool. Brother, WrestleMania, Hulkamania, brother, and that was basically it. And it was
That was
sort
pretty
of like
much the promo, yeah. It was a bit pants, but the good part about this was when Bray Wyatt interrupted.
doing
because
Kyle O'Reilly playing the air guitar.
he did a Hulk Hogan
playing the Kyle O'Reilly.
He did.
I only started watching wrestling 2 years ago.
So it came in with the graphics that looked like the NWO, but it had been replaced with FFH for Firefly Funhouse. It was
Whoa.
like a PSA NWO thing they used to do, which is really cool. Came in on black and white, playing the guitar like Hogan used to do.
Kyle O'Reilly.
This guy. And then they go back and forth for a bit. There's some funny things from Bray Wyatt. He gives Huskers the Pete Boy. He gives him a bit of chocolate and says, "Hope it's not too sweet." It's good. It's funny. But then, the weird thing about this segment, I thought, was that they teased a match between Wyatt and Hogan, which I
Nobody wants that.
literally could not be less into that idea. But Wyatt holds up a picture of Hogan and says, "There's always room on the wall for you." And then Hogan's like, "Oh, I'll see you at the Hall of Fame," and walks off. So why are we teasing this?
I could see Bray attacking him.
Yeah.
But not having a match.
Yes.
Like he attacked Kurt Angle, he attacked
I
the
want
King.
him now to attack him during his Hall of Fame speech.
Yes.
That would be
That
great.
would be great. Yeah, but what if someone is dressed up as the Fiend and rushed the ring, and everyone thought, this is fine, but it's like that guy from last year, Brock something. His name was Brock, wasn't it? I think the guy who
Possibly,
attacked.
the guy who attacked Bret Hart.
Yeah.
I don't know, but whatever. This was fine. I'm not more excited for Fiend Goldberg. I don't think I'm going to be more excited for it between now and then.
And then Hogan sort of goes, shut up, mate, and then walks off. And
I'll see you at the Hall of Fame.
Reveals a chair with his own name on it.
Yeah, just in case you need reminding.
Then we got Zane and Cesaro in the ring.
I thought this segment was really good.
Did you notice that Cesaro had a cowbell because he's Swiss?
Is that the joke?
I think so,
Because
because
he's Swiss.
Swiss cows are known for the dongling.
I thought the joke was, we need way less cowbell. I thought that was the quip about the thing. Because there's the SNL skit of the we need more cowbell.
I don't watch SNL.
Nor do I, but everyone knows that skit. It's very famous.
Everyone apart from me, then.
Yeah.
Because
That's
not
actually,
not
You're
everyone.
the only person in the world who does not know that skit.
Well, yeah.
But anyway, they're in the ring. Sami Zayn and Cesaro in the ring doing a protest concert against Elias and Braun Strowman because they've been, the victims of injustice. I don't know. This is where we get more glitches on the feed, and then Elias comes out with a super hot crowd behind him.
Yeah.
And again, you hear kind of at peak Elias when the whole crowd was behind him every single week. You hear, WWE stands for Walk with Elias, and it was this proper raucous crowd. It was a really cool moment. And then he gets in the ring to listen to their protest concert thing. They start going Cesaro on the cowbell. I thought was hilarious.
There was something quite satisfying about him having a big, like a proper size guitar, and then Sami Zayn just having the little one. There was
a ukulele.
Cool. And yeah, there was just a nice visual. There was just something almost childish in me thinking, he's got a bigger one. That's like,
yeah.
But yeah, no, this was fun, and then obviously they all scuffle.
They all start brawling. During it as well, the crowd starts chanting "Walk with Elias" over Sami Zayn and Cesaro playing their instruments. So as they're playing, to go, "Oh, walk with Elias," over and over again. So then they start telling them to shut up. Blah blah blah. Gets drawn out. Then they start brawling. I thought Sami Zayn was brilliant. Just grabbed the mic stand and tried to fend off Braun that came out and just no, get away from me. Thought it was hilarious. Braun, they have security guards now.
And
why not?
Apparently it's okay for babyfaces to beat up security guards.
It's totally fine.
Because they're not. But the thing is, they're not going to get banned from the ringside like Corbin was.
I know, yeah. But it's always fun to watch, especially Braun beat up nameless people.
And throwing people who are really good at flipping.
Throwing them into the bloody stratosphere. Him and Elias just got one of them, just went yeet straight up and just, he was gone.
Did you just yeet, Pete?
They yoked him.
They yoked him.
So hard.
He was yat.
I don't even know the past tense of yeet. But yeah, it's a fun thing.
Yeah.
I thought this was fine. This is when Naomi had her promo saying she's going to become SmackDown Women's Champion, and we get confirmation of Carmella versus Naomi next week. Then we get an entire recap of the Mandy and Otis arc so far, how it all started with Secret
fun.
Santa, and just kind of a recap of the whole thing, which is great. And then there was a little thing which was like, oh, do you want to go out with me? And she's like, oh, I'm busy next Friday. And then the music cuts and the hearts that are around the screen just dropped from the effect. And she goes, but I've not got anything on next Friday. Way, music comes back on, hearts are back on the screen. It was great. And then my next note after this is Dolph Ziggler, you expletive.
Oh, you idiot.
So let's just talk through it first.
And this was badly cut together, I thought.
I don't think it was. I think it was intentional, but we'll talk about it in a second. So Otis is there in the restaurant. We know Mandy Rose is waiting. We've seen her there before. Otis is coming in, psyching himself up. Rose is in hand. He kind of goes to walk in. No, you can't do it. Goes to walk in again. No, can't do it. Kind of slicks his hair back one more time. He's like, right, I can do it. I don't know. And we cut to Mandy Rose. We see her just kind of sitting there waiting. We just see a hand come in and touch her shoulder.
And immediately you know it's not Otis because he's wearing sleeves. And you're thinking,
Uh-oh,
oh no.
Who's this? And then Mandy just goes, Otis, I was getting worried. And she turns around and looks. Camera pans up, and it's Dolph bloody Ziggler.
He is a handsome man.
He's a handsome man.
I forget he's handsome.
He's a handsome man. And he just goes, hey, Mandy. We cut back to Otis. Otis eventually kind of
Psychs himself up
a bit more, walks into the restaurant, goes around to see Dolph Ziggler and Mandy Rose sitting together at the table, and they're being poured wine. The heartbreak on Otis's face was clear to see.
I really enjoyed Otis's kind of the way he acted, because we've all been there before a date. Well, not all been there, but a lot of people have been there before a date, and you were genuinely,
before a date, yes.
And you are pacing. You're thinking, oh, what if she doesn't look like the picture? What if she thinks I look horrible? What if we have nothing to talk about? Oh, you are doing that thing that he was doing. Like, come on, no. And then you psych yourself up for it. You're like, right. And then you can imagine going in and seeing your date with someone else. It's just the flowers drop, the visual.
He drops the roses on the floor and he just walks out. It was perfectly played. I loved this segment. I'm really looking forward to next week, and especially because of a little detail in the first segment in the night when Otis was there getting ready. He got a text message saying that Mandy was running late, so he left later. He got tricked into being late for the date with Mandy Rose. It was Ziggler that texted. It was Kevin Nash that texted himself the message or something. He got tricked into being late for Mandy to purposely screw it up. Mandy was only there because she thought Otis wasn't turning up, because she thought she'd been stood up by Otis. It's a good story. I'm so into this.
And Otis versus Dolph will be fun.
Otis versus Dolph will be great. Put it at Mania. I would love it.
Main event, WrestleMania.
Main event,
Otis versus Dolph
WrestleMania, Otis, Dolph Ziggler. It's
Mandy
happening.
Rose in a cage.
Mandy Rose in a shot. Mandy Rose on a pole.
I didn't say it.
Nope. We get WrestleMania in Hollywood for WrestleMania 37, March 28th next year. And then we get to the main event, which is Miz and Morrison versus Roman Reigns and a mystery partner. Miz and Morrison came out and cut a promo beforehand, which I thought was as great as always. I think they're both really funny. Miz had a great line being like, I've been here for so many years. I'm always here. And whether you guys cheer me or boo me, I am always here. And Morrison goes, I've been back a month, and I am also always here. Great line.
Are they the most must-see tag team, or are they Can't Miz?
Reigns interrupts the promo, comes out, we get a recap of the Corbin-Reigns feud. Then his mystery partner is revealed as Daniel Bryan, which was a massive pop from the crowd.
It was a massive pop, but I was kind of like, oh. I was almost expecting a return or someone. I don't know, as soon as you say mystery partner, I'm thinking, ooh. I like Daniel Bryan a lot. I wasn't disappointed. I was just kind of like, oh.
That sounds like disappointment.
No, it was mild
disappointment.
It was less than I was expecting. Yeah, I was really disappointed.
I really liked it. This was great.
Yeah.
Just before the match gets underway, we see King Corbin come down in the crowd. He's bought a ticket for the show, so he's coming down, ticket in hand, sitting in the front row in a desk chair.
Not a chair that you have at the show.
Since when do they start selling desk chairs in the front row? Don't know. But the match itself, I thought was really good. Yeah. It's everything you'd expect from a main event SmackDown tag team match. They've got that formula locked down. Corbin didn't actually get involved in the match apart from being a distraction to Reigns, which is Reigns' fault.
I preferred that.
Yeah, totally. And there was some really nice wrestling in it as well. Morrison looked really great. There was a skull-crushing finale onto Reigns, which looked like it might have been for the win, and then Bryan saved it at the last second, which was cool.
Morrison did that flippy thing over the
corner post,
corner
right?
post, which was like,
it looked mental.
I was terrified that he was going to just hit the corner post and just slide off.
Great. It was really cool. Yeah, lots of cool spots in this match. But eventually, Reigns pinned Miz with the spear. And then straight away afterwards, Corbin comes in with the scepter and just kind of clunks him on the head and goes up the ramp. And that's how the show ends.
And his sedan, someone has brought out his sedan, even though he's barred from the ring.
Yeah, I don't know.
That was a bit silly. He could have just stood
that
there,
and the
I
desk
think.
chair was really dumb. But
yeah.
Overall though, I've seen a lot of people be negative about this show. I didn't think it was that bad. No. I thought this was actually much better than what we've been getting in the last month.
There was something different to it.
Yes, definitely. It didn't feel like the same show again and again and again. This felt different.
Because we wake up in the morning. We don't watch it live because it's on a silly o'clock. But so we wake up in the morning. But my website chat that I have on WhatsApp was just so negative. I was thinking, oh no,
this is going to be a dreadful
I'm going to have
episode,
to watch this episode, and it was fine. Yeah, it was a perfectly decent 3 out of 5 show.
Yeah, I gave it a high 3 out of 5. I thought it was even better than that. I enjoyed myself while I was watching this show at several points. So, can't say more than that. Before we get out of here, we've got to say thank you to some special people, and that is our Pledge Hammer Patreon backers. If you've not gone to WrestleTalk's Patreon page, you should. It's great. Patreon.com/WrestleTalk. You get loads of cool benefits and stuff. We've just put up the WrestleTalk Extra podcast for February, which is Ollie and Luke reviewing Elimination Chamber 2014, which has that classic Wyatt versus Shield 6-man tag match, which is great. So you can go and give that a watch. That's at the $10 tier. If you're at the $25 and above tier, then you get your custom wrestling name and a shout out on a show like this. So thank you to Angry Arbel Zafiri.
Yeah.
And you get a cheap pop as well.
Don't have a Shane Cowley, man.
Woo! Yes, thank you. You'll never get this name right, you idiots. Matthew Zimjewski.
Yes, Zmijewski. Moving sideways, Kieran Crabtree.
Sideways.
Yeah, like Dr. Zoidberg. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Robin Banks, Lee Roberts.
Oh, Lee Roberts. Yes. We're going on a Brian Huntley.
Hell yeah, we are. Always on the hunt. John, Mr. Jenkerson. Woo, yes, thank you.
Colin Leaner than Finn Balor. I finally got that one right.
Leaner than Finn Balor. The Second Coming, Kev Jr.
And finally, Marcus, he's got soul, Campbell. It's a football joke.
Football jokes. Well, thank you very much to our Pledge Hammers on Patreon, and thank you for watching. I was about to say, if you're watching on catch-up, you are, because we're not live. Please press the videos that have just appeared on the desk right now, and this button right here that'll make you a Pledge Hammer on Patreon. I'm already stumbling over my words. WrestleTalkLive.com as well. Get your tickets. Come see us. Live podcast, live wrestling. It's going to be great. I've been Chopper P. Quinnell. This has been Andy Datson, and that was SmackDown.